What a game we witnessed today. It was an absolutely nail-biting match between the Rajasthan Royals and the Kings 11 Punjab, and the Rajasthan Royals won it in the final over. We've seen some incredible hitting from both teams and some amazing fielding as well. We've got lots to talk about. Welcome to today's episode of End of Days Play. At the end of the episode, as usual, we'll also have a quick look at tomorrow's game between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Mumbai Indians. So, Nags, quick summary from you as always.
Quick summary, one-liner. Rajasthan chased 223 and successfully managed to get that total down. So in the process, they became that registered the highest successful chase in the IPL history. Okay, so going back to the beginning, Rajasthan won the toss and invited Kings 11 to have a bat first. Toss has been a talking point and it probably will remain for the course of the tournament. Kings 11 knew that in order to secure the game, they will have to score big. So they came out with a positive intent, and their openers stitched together a 183 run opening stand and scoring at more than 10 runs per over. So in the process, it was Mayank Agarwal who brought up his first IPL 100, and it was ably supported by the captain KL Rahul, who contributed with 69 runs of his own. And in the end, it was a flourish again by Nicholas Puran in the final over to get the total to 223 for the loss of 2 wickets. So an absolutely forgettable day for the Rajasthan bowlers. Wait, we will talk about the Punjab bowlers a little later. So, in reply, Rajasthan Royals had a pretty horror start where they lost Joss Butler cheaply, their captain Steve Smith, and one down Sanju Samson, who put together an 81 run stand. So it was Steve Smith in the process who brought up his 50, second on the trot, as well as Sanju Samson hit a very pleasing 85 in double quick time in just 42 balls. But then, just at the stroke of 10th over, when Steve Smith fell to Nisham, Rajasthan Royals raised everybody's eyebrows by promoting Tewatia. And it was a very questionable choice for most part of the innings until he finally turned it around. And we are going to talk about it in detail further. And eventually, Rahul Tewatia ended up scoring a match-defining 53 of just 31 balls. And in the process, Rajasthan Royals won the game by 4 wickets, scoring 226 for the loss of 6 wickets with 3 balls to spare. And again, so that implies that Punjab bowlers had an even more forgettable day compared to the Rajasthan bowlers. So not a bowler's day, and not it's not going to be likely to be any different for even the remaining games in Sharjah.
Brilliant summary, Nags. What do we have at number 5 today?
Regardless of the result, we must talk about this. It was the stupendous fielding effort on display, predominantly by Punjab and to a lesser extent by even Rajasthan. It was the fast bowler Cottrell giving a very tough, hard chase to the fine leg boundary to save a run, save a couple. Then it was Mayank Agarwal again at the boundary, saving certain 4 to restrict it to 2. But then it had to be the effort of saving a 6 by Nicholas Puran, where he actually dived out of the playing field and then, while in the air, flicked the ball back. We have seen this now. This has become a routine in T20 cricket, but this was taking it to a different level altogether. It was absolutely marvelous to watch that fielding effort. It, in fact, got their fielding coach, Jonty Rhodes, off his seat, and he, in fact, ended up bowing to Puran. So, brilliant effort. Brilliant to watch.
It was brilliant to watch indeed, and I'm pleasing to see that over the past couple of games, the standard of ground fielding and catching has improved, and we've seen. I don't think we've seen any drops in the last 2 games, so hopefully this continues for the rest of the tournament. At number 4, we're going to talk about the dependable opening pair for the Kings 11 Punjab. KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal just seem to be batting in a different zone. They are in a tremendous spurt of form. We always knew Rahul over the past 12, 18 months, he's developed into a brilliant batsman. Mayank Agarwal has also matured really as a batsman. We've seen that in the test arena, and he's bringing that confidence into the limited overs game. And some of the hitting that we saw today, it was just brilliant. He didn't try to slog. He was hitting, the bowlers straight down the ground, mostly the spinners and on certain occasions the pacers as well. And I think again, he was someone who raced to his 100, and he outscored KL Rahul for a lot of the innings. Rahul supported him very well, and I think even though he was probably a little slower than what he would have liked to be, he did end up getting some very useful runs. And it augurs well for Kings 11 Punjab that their top two batsmen are also the top two run getters in this year's IPL and are vying for the orange cap. So hopefully they can get the bonus bowlers to turn up to the party as well and really support them.
Yeah. Yes. Another important fact is that their opening partnership is going along so well that they probably are keeping the universe boss Chris Gale out of the side.
At number three, what's up next?
At number three, it is the poor bowling from both sides. I know we are in Sharjah, and I know that we have to be a little sympathetic to the bowlers. It is not a very good balance between the bat and the ball. But then, even if you're nitpicking, I would say that the bowling could have been better on both sides. So we still saw a lot of slower balls that actually sat up to be hit. So whether it was Jofra Archer, whether it was Mohammad Shami, whether it was Cottrell, either they were bowling slower balls halfway down the pitch, or they were pitching it in the slot for the batsman to simply go for a clean swing. So nobody really tried going back to the age-old trusted weapon of Yorker. I can probably recount only a single Yorker that ended up being a dot ball was bowled by Tom Curran. Having said that, I must say that the spinners on both sides uh, probably performed better than the Pacers. They probably learned the lessons watching Piyush Chawla and Ravindra Jadeja suffer. So there were no loopy, pitched up deliveries.
Call me old school or out of sync with with the T20 game, but I think I would like to see a bit of balance between the bat and the ball. So here's hoping that the bowlers pull up their socks and come to the party as well, and we see more of a contest between the batsmen and the bowlers rather than just a hitting contest between two teams. At number two, we're going to talk about the Rajasthan Royals top order, something that we touched upon earlier. The partnership between Steve Smith and Sanju Samson, which set up the platform for audacious chase. Um, if at all you are looking for a template to, as to how to approach a chase of a total in excess of 200, this was it. At no point during that partnership did it appear that they were panicking. They kept their calm. They picked their bowlers. They looked to hit straight most of the time. And if the ball was short and if it was there to be hit, they didn't miss out. They hit the ball. They hit the bowlers. And I don't think they spared anyone in particular. So I think that was really pleasing to see. And this is probably something that other teams can look to learn from. And rather than going trying to conserve wickets or trying to go all boom boom and lose a lot of wickets, this probably was a perfect example of how to approach a chase in excess of 200. And what do we have at number one today, Nats?
Okay. At number one, I believe everyone would have guessed this by now. It has to be Tewatia's amazing turnaround. So it was a decision to promote Tewatia ahead of Robin Uthappa and the rest of the batting order at the fall of Steve Smith. So he walked in with roughly 10 overs to go. And he was there, probably sent out to neutralize the leg spinners of Punjab. But then he could barely get bat on ball. And he was actually putting additional pressure on Sanju Samson. And the required run rate started creeping up. He was 8 of 19 balls, which was unimaginable in a chase in excess of 200. And at one stage, Sanju Samson started refusing singles. And then to think that he finished with 53 of 31 balls, hitting 7 sixes in the last 10 balls that he faced, and that resulted in the Rajasthan victory, is quite a turnaround. He made all the commentators eat their words. And I must confess, I was one of them who was probably cursing him. Uh, and I must, in the end, salute the mental fortitude and the strength that he would have had to have known what the rest of the team must be feeling about him, about his position, and how well he turned it around was quite commendable.
Absolutely. It was a tremendous punt on the Royals management's behalf, to send Tewatia up the order ahead of more established batsmen. It paid off for them today. And, at the end of the day, all you can do is, take off your hat and doff it to him and say, well played, mate. It was a brilliant innings. Who was our pick for the player of the match?
Tough choice. I will still go with Sanju Samson for the way
Ooh,
he stabilized the chase. He controlled the chase in company of his captain, and then along with Tewatia. So for me, Sanju Samson slightly edges Tewatia as the player of the game.
I would have gone for Tewatia, but there you go. Right. Moving on. What do we have in terms of the fun fact of the day?
Okay. There have been a couple of observations. So one is a loopy, slower bouncer bowled by Jimmy Neesham to Steve Smith, and it was so slow, and the trajectory brought the ball so high up after pitching that probably Smith had three different shots in his mind by the time the ball came down. He probably thought at one stage it's going to sail over his head for a wide, and then changed his mind that he could whack it, and then finally he somehow very awkwardly nudged it to find leg for a single. So such was the event that it was quite funny. The next one was something that was said on air by KP when Tewatia was hardly able to put the bat on ball, and when he finally just even cleared the square uh, after an ugly hoik, he said he doesn't seem to be the one who's going to hit the ball out of the park because he seems to be batting with a toothpick. So both those instances were very funny. I would love to know what the viewers think of it anyway.
Let's take a look at the key moment of the day. And what's your take on that, Nance?
The key moment has to be the final 5 overs bowled by Kings 11 Punjab. So at the start of the 16th over, Rajasthan Royals needed 84 to win of last 30 balls. And they ended up scoring 86 in 27. So they actually won with 3 balls to spare. So a lot went wrong in that final 5 overs. Um, Most importantly, the over bowled by Cottrell to Tewatia, where he hit him for 5 sixes. So that's 30 taken off the target. And then again, Shami also had a horrendous over, conceding sixes to both Tewatia as well as later on to Jofra Archer. So they could have tried so many different things. There was not a single Yorker in that, and that costed Punjab the game.
All right. Uh, I'm going to put you on the spot. Very quick predictions for tomorrow's game between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians. Who do you think is going to win? Is it RCB or Mumbai?
Safe bet, Mumbai Indians, and they'll on the back of the horror performance by RCB. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to recover in time. And Mumbai Indians have already tasted victory, and I think they'll come out victors tomorrow.
I'm going for RCB tomorrow. So let's see how it pans out.
Let's keep the split verdict going for the rest of our episodes.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked our video, please like and share it with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel to keep more videos coming your way. Please do let us know your comments, and we'd love to read about them, and we would definitely respond to them. Take care, and have a brilliant day ahead.